Dear Heavenly Precious Father, we thank you for this rain. God, we thank you for the many blessings you put on this county. We thank you for the good and the bad, but this morning we've got a little bit of good. And God, I just pray we continue to build back up our water. We can get rid of all these state of emergencies and burn bans and all these things that we just try to do to help the community. God, get us back on track and allow this meeting to benefit all that call Nicholas County home. Let us make good decisions. Give us your wisdom, courage, and understanding. In your holy and precious name we do pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll go on the record.
Recording in progress.
Good morning. We'll call this regular scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission to order. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, and it is 9:15 a.m. If one of you gentlemen would begin with the motions, then we'll go to public comment.
Go ahead.
Upon review of the minutes of the September 4th, 2024 meeting as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, make a motion to waive the reading and move to approve as presented.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of the state and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve unless otherwise noted.
The motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion does carry.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from the elected officials and department heads, the Commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? The motion does carry.
Upon review of invoices as submitted by various departmental offices, the Commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary.
That motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? The motion does carry. For terms of office expiring, do we have anyone for the Nicholas County Parks and Recreation Commission?
I talked to Richard Vance last night. He said he'd give me an answer the next day or so.
That'd be good.
Invited him down for our meeting tomorrow night. So if they come down and check it out, see if we can pull him up.
Now, the president sets the agenda, but I feel like somebody took off a certain action item concerning the park, but I'll make sure it's on there next time.
Oh, no. Really?
I was supposed to be on there.
Oh, no, we'll get that fixed.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she sends it, I said, look good, back it goes.
Huh?
I said, she sends it, I say, looks good, back it goes.
Oh, yeah, right. Final clearance. Okay, so let's move on to public comment. We do have with us Miss Lindsay Skidmore from the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce concerning the Winter Classic. Good morning.
Yeah, just pass it down, it's easier.
Thank you.
Just had a couple of things for you this morning. There was something that I wanted to make you all aware of. Last year in December, the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce hosted our first basketball tournament. This is a statewide tournament. Last year we had, I think, 40 some odd teams that attended. It goes over 5 days. It's held out at the Summersville Arena Conference Center. You'll see your first page there is some photos of the event. We had an excellent time. We had great attendance. After this event, we actually had an economic impact study done through WVU that showed conservative numbers, approximately $100,000 of outside county money that was brought into the county over those 5 days. That doesn't include anything that we spent putting on the event or anything that was just circulated within the county. That's just the outside money. So we have decided to go ahead and host that again this year as an economic driver into our area. You'll see that second page there that you have. That's our current schedule. It is complete, ready to go. We're going to do 5 days again, starting on the day after Christmas. We're up to 62 teams this year. So we've actually added in, we'll start before the sun comes up and we'll end far after it goes down with games. Those teams, the first day there you'll see is middle school. The next 4 days are high school. And that goes from all the way Northwest Virginia to Southern West Virginia. They're all coming into our area. The last page, I just wanted to make you guys aware, we do have a sponsorship package. This event is a big undertaking for us. We do rely on the support of our partners, sponsorships, things like that. I'm not formally requesting any money today, but what I would like to do is just make you guys aware, see if it was something that you all would be interested in partnering with us on. And if you have any questions about it.
So you've got some data already, that rooms are already booked, pretty much all over town.
So last year we spoke with, so our economic impact study was simply an estimate that was done through WVU. We took it a little bit further and we actually went and visited the hotels, something that WVU did not go and do to get those numbers. We talked to the Super 8 last year, they were completely booked out. The Hampton Inn had, he said, 2 or 3 rooms open, which, that's a large hotel. Quality Inn was booked out. Sleep Inn had just a couple rooms. And before hosting this event, before even scheduling the first date, we went to our hotel partners and we said, what is the best time of year, or what is the worst time of year, I guess, for you guys? When are your numbers down? And they told us that weekend between Christmas and New Year's. Most often they have very little rooms booked during that time. So in 1 year, we went from a week of no rooms booked to completely filling out almost every hotel.
And that was with 40 teams.
That was with 40-some teams. We're up to 62 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and our goal, we love to have our local teams play as well. So we do have, you'll see on there, Ridgewood, Webster, Nicholas, of course, is on there. But we like to bring teams from far away, maybe people who have never visited our area, people that we know once they come here, they'll want to come back.
Right.
So our hope is, yes, you're going to come during these 5 days, you're going to stay in our hotels, you're going to eat our food, shop at our shops. But our hope is that, this is in winter, so maybe you'll see something, you'll want to come back in summer, in spring, or fall.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Any questions or anything?
And are you asking from us, I mean, you're not asking, but to give you a little background, you'll need to come and get on the agenda with a formal request. Because we can't do anything without being on agenda. But are you asking for us to become a sponsor or just a monetary gift?
So that's really up to you guys in how you would like to partner with us. I did bring that sponsorship packet. This is what we've been giving out to area businesses, things like that, if they would like to sponsor. It includes several ways that we promote their businesses. If that doesn't apply for you, then a monetary donation would work as well.
Now, when you send out the packets, I'm sure to the teams, you tell them about the hotels and everything. Do you put a list of any of the Airbnbs that took up in the packets or anything too?
Yeah, so the way, and I'm sure you guys know this, the way that the chamber works is we're membership based. So we actually send out a flyer to every team to give out to their parents and things like that has all of our lodging partners listed. There are several Airbnbs that are listed on there, campgrounds that have cabins available, and of course our hotels that are partners. We do contact them first to make sure that they're okay with us releasing that information. But we've also talked to them this year, that way they have a code this year, so anyone who stays with the Winter Classic, they're going to have that information predetermined. They want that information, and that way after the fact we can go back and they can give us some hard numbers this year as far as how much money was generated just from the Winter Classic. We're trying to do a little bit better job as far as getting those hard numbers. That way we have some more accurate data after the fact.
Well, thank you very much, and we will look at this, and if you want to get on the agenda with the girls in there for the next meeting or two for a formal request, be the best thing to do.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So that being said, Clerk Painter, if you wouldn't mind to step out and invite all those here for the estate of Theodore McClung. We'll call in our appearance by phone individual.
Anywhere you like.
Well, is this Jennifer? Jennifer, this is Gary Cole, the Commission. I'm going to repeat your speaker, and we're going to get started, okay? Thank you.
More pages. They're done. Yes, they're done.
It's all an act, don't believe it.
It's sad.
You got too much time on it.
It's not used.
Marine. At least that little.
We're here now concerning the estate of Theodore McClung Jr., file number 10667. This is regarding a follow-up to August 21st, 2024, the agenda of the Nicholas County Commission. Before we begin, anyone that has any intention whatsoever to speak today, and Ms. McClung by phone, we're going to go by the honor system. If anyone has any intention to speak today, please raise your right hands at this time. And do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that in the matter now in hearing, your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. So that being said, we're going to ask Ms. Brown from the clerk's office to begin, and we'll get back to it.
This is an update to the status of the estate requested by the Commission from the August 21st hearing. The matter before the Commission is an objection to the estate by one of the heirs, Jen McClung, for removal of the administratrix due to adding Stephen Palmer as an heir and lack of communication. At the August 21st meeting, Kevin Burgess, attorney for the administratrix, stated he was working on finding out if Stephen Palmer is in fact an heir to the estate.
And so, Mr. Burgess, if you could give the commission an update, please.
Yes, Mr. Cole. I have, with the help of Jennifer McClung, found and spoke with the mother of Stephen Wayne Palmer, and she has confirmed all the particulars that the McClung heirs have said about their former sibling who has now been adopted. I tried to get adoption records out of Tennessee. That's an impossibility because of their secrecy laws. We don't know where Stephen Palmer is, but I am satisfied after speaking with his mother, whose name is now Deborah Ann Lang, that he was in fact adopted by her second husband, whose name was Palmer. And she has agreed to sign an affidavit to that effect, and I'm simply waiting for her to get that done. And to support what I've just said, I will offer the commission copies of my correspondence with Ms. Lang, which has the draft affidavit attached to it, and also a note from my assistant who spoke with Ms. Lang yesterday. And Ms. Lang said she's going to the bank this morning to get the affidavit notarized and mailed. So hopefully that will put the matter to rest. We can eliminate Stephen Wayne Palmer as an heir. and go forward with the final settlement. My understanding is the whole bill's been paid.
All but one, Cabela's car.
So that said, I think we're about ready for a final settlement. And we can have as the distributees of the estate, Jennifer McClung and her siblings, excluding Mr. Palmer.
I think you were gonna do some liquidation, right? Like a vehicle and then a washer, dryer, refrigerator, something like that?
Yes.
Okay. And the Cabela's, that's outstanding, just,
That's the only one outstanding. I have a list I wrote down of all the bills that I've paid off so far. Besides the, regular bills.
right. And are you going to liquidate anything else to settle that Cabela's, or?
It depends on how long everything takes.
I got you. Understood.
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
I'm also waiting for a Social Security deposit to be reissued for the estate, and they're supposed to direct deposit it, and that'll help.
Jennifer McClung, do you have anything to add to the record?
No, it was really hard for me to hear, so I was kind of in the dark, but as long as everything's settled about Stephen Palmer's status as not being an heir, that's been my biggest concern.
Do you have anything to add, legal counsel?
No, I'm sure Kevin will follow up on that, and you're gonna file that affidavit as part of the estate?
Yes, as soon as I get it back.
So really, we can wait on the final settlement, see if there's any objection at that point?
Yeah, he'll file his final settlement, heirs have the right to review that, and then make any objections that they need to, and then hopefully that resolves it. I'm confident that Kevin will follow up with that.
Correct,
What's
Commissioner.
that?
Good.
There are no releases for any claims, so we'll have to have all of those releases before we can accept a final settlement to even be viewed by the heirs or anyone.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Anything else for the record?
No, sir.
Okay. Telling myself a little bit, I don't remember.
What you have is an objection, or a motion, I think, to remove the executor. Doesn't seem to me that there's a basis for that now, so my recommendation would be to deny that.
I also actually agree with that, legal counsel's recommendation to deny the request to remove the executrix of the estate, Theodore McClung Jr., file number 10667.
Make that motion that we allow the executrix, I struggle with that, to remain in place.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any further questions? Anything else from legal counsel? That being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry, and the motion does carry.
So when do you think you'll have the stuff, the final and everything?
Well, I'm hoping the affidavit comes straight back. I even gave the lady a self-addressed stamped envelope, so she can just put it in the mail to me. And we just have to get the releases from the people you paid.
Yes, and I did call them and let them know that I had mailed the checks
They
to
filed that to you,
them.
or they have?
Some of them said it would take, 15 days to process and then send it out. Some of them was 30 days. So, however fast they can get it processed, their business is how they do that.
So hopefully we'll be in a position to present the final settlement into publication, and won't be long.
Very good.
Awesome.
Thank you all for your time this morning.
Thank you all very much.
gentlemen.
Y'all have a good one. Yes, sir. You too.
You got anything else?
Brandon?
Thank you.
So I do have a question. After I receive that affidavit, Lonnie do an English of fiduciaries, and then have her sign that, and just attach the affidavit with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Up now, we have the distinct honor and pleasure to be presented to by the one and only County Clerk, Robert Painter. Appreciate the opportunity to be spoke to by this fine gentleman and his very tedious roles as the county clerk of the entire county.
The county. Just leave it at that.
Right, he's not even the clerk, he's just the county. With that being said, we do have a request for the approval of poll workers.
Can we read those out one at a time?
Right, they need to be read for the record.
Right.
I'm a little hoarse, you guys are.
No, I'm good.
We have received poll worker lists from each of the respective parties. You all, the county commissioners, and we've got a list together. Just needs a motion.
And your office has reviewed it to make sure everything's,
We have reviewed it, re-reviewed it.
that's a lot of reviewing.
And it will keep changing. It's good out.
Make a motion to approve that list?
Of the poll workers for the 2024 general election.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all those against? The motion does carry. Thank you, Clerk Painter. That being said, we have the distinct honor and pleasure once again of being presented to by County Clerk Robert Painter.
Just what does he
Tuesday
have
or
on
Wednesday?
What's that?
Just what does he have on him?
Well, I'm trying to be nice before I say no on his request.
Right. Free tonight, veto.
Makes us look good.
So we do have the Honorable Clerk Painter again, approval of purchase for new AS400D system.
That's correct. That's our server that serves for financial and our budget payroll and the tax system. The server in the basement. The maintenance agreement's running out on it. Mike Mulvaney was here and I believe May presented you all options.
Yes.
This is reflective of when you basically.
We knew it was coming. Would we use this opportunity to relocate it somewhere more convenient, or is that actually the best place for it?
As far as I know, that's about the only place.
Okay.
Plus it's cooler down there.
Yep.
Probably helps.
Probably would be cool. That's a
And
good
all the
point.
lines are already running. I don't know what we get into moving, especially with all the construction.
And will we have the opportunity to maybe put it up on a table or something? I know it's literally like something closer to the floor. Just make it more
Or
convenient
a
for folks.
stand-up cabin.
Is that the room where the old land books are?
Yes.
Is there a security issue when people, I was in there the other day, and looking at the land books, is there a security issue with the land books, people going in there to view the land books and their server there?
Well, there could be, but we don't get many people.
Well, it's an unsavory bunch like lawyers who go down there and look at things.
But they might be digging, you know.
Questionable. I mean, they make it smaller. We used to have cabinets that would lock. I mean, it was like a glass cabinet, a lot of air flow through.
We could, when they come to put it, well, when they prepare it to come, we could.
Look something like that. Yeah.
we could-
Actually, where I was going with that is, I really think you all need to scan those and digitize those books. They're very valuable.
Right.
When you're looking.
So they weren't when the deeds were done?
No.
No.
Really?
There's not many of them, and there's some that, well, there are, but they go back to the beginning of the county
Sure.
and have every land transaction transfer in them. It'd be a horrible loss if we lost it. I frankly would recommend that you look into doing that and then putting the land books somewhere secure.
Right.
And that way then you wouldn't have access into your computer system also.
If they could maybe elevate and then make sure the wiring comes in a channel guide or something, so it can't be tripped or kicked or moved or whatever the case is. Just while we're doing this already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we cleaned up the room a bit from what it was, so it'd probably be a lot easier.
Right.
To do that.
Do something a little more firm. My opinion would be that, I mean, this has been an issue for quite some time for both the tax and clerk's office. I really don't believe we need to kick this can down the road anymore. This is vital technology. And one question I do have for the clerk, is there a certain year maintenance agreement that comes with this?
I think it's
Sorry, I had
I believe on the original
3 years
proposal.
warranty. Right there on
3-year software maintenance. So, and it's a new system, not a very old system.
faster than sure.
Yeah, you don't
it's
have
got
tapes.
A lot better backup.
Yep.
Right now, we're still on
Tapes.
Suggestion of where you take money from?
I'd recommend Cole Severn.
That's fine, it's infrastructure.
No, I said, where do you put it on the list?
Bring it in the middle, right.
Okay. So we have about $1 million between the two.
Yeah. You said between the two, right? Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we purchase this from Cope Severance.
Okay, and this is the proposal from Software Systems Incorporated, which is the group that we use for all of our software for the clerk and tax office. This is a total price of products and services for Nicholas County of $47,237. This does include all new technology and hardware, a 3-year software maintenance contract, installation, so on and so
3
forth.
years.
3 years warranty. Hardware, yes, you're right, a 3-year hardware warranty and a 3-year software maintenance package for the county. So, sounds high, but welcome to government technology with all the firewalls required. And so, is there any other discussion? Any other questions, any other comments? That being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. So that being said,
Is this gonna be, with all your terminals and things you got now, we won't have to upgrade any of those, it'll still work into this server?
It's just put a new server.
Aye.
yes, sir. Do we have any bids for the,
I've received one this
Yes.
morning.
we only got one? Okay, you don't have any other. So, okay, that being said, we have a bid opening for alteration and renovations of courthouse facilities for additional circuit court judge and staff. Of course, this is on the second floor, primarily where the circuit clerk used to be until she was relocated to the first floor. We did only receive one bid, but this is from Kev's Contracting, Inc. It is sealed as required. And this is from Kev's Contracting, Inc., from Clifftop, West Virginia. An estimate for Nicholas County Courthouse renovation. Scope of work was provided to me of what is to be done per prints. Phase 1 is proposed to be $79,000. Phase 2 is proposed to be $58,500 for a total of Phase 1 and Phase 2 of $137,500.
Okay. So 140. I said, we set a budget of 140,
What did it come in at?
137.
I got $3 more thousand to spend.
We didn't have 140 to start with.
So there was no discount for both phases we added?
It doesn't look like.
Nope. Set it up. And I'm assuming he does understand the timeframe is not negotiable?
Correct.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the reason why no one else bid.
I got you.
My only request would be is if we do approve this here today, it would be conditionally approved that we still receive contractor's license, insurance,
That was
and a
part of it.
more descriptive scope of work than what was in the prints.
Fair enough. That's part of the acceptance.
And this company did attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting, so they did meet all other requirements.
You need a motion?
Are you gonna put a deadline on when that should be submitted? and licenses and all that.
Right. We got a courtroom to build.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, I don't wanna drag it out, but I'll say this.
How will this Thrasher have a breakout of the deliverables, like line items that they knew they were bidding against?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, in that packet.
the spec.
Yeah, that's what I want to make sure,
Yeah.
like you're saying, that you know, we have expectations.
And
from this.
honestly, even if like he would just sign off on that book and we got the copy
Yep.
back or
Yep.
something, I mean, it's not like he has to rewrite.
Just so we know line item, we're not
Reinvent the
gonna be-
wheel, but you
Yep.
know, more of a scope of, this is what I have reviewed, this is what I have agreed to
Right.
do for this price.
That and any sort of,
That's per spec.
yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we have one bid agreement, or one bid, and
One bid.
I'll make the motion that we accept the single bid that we have in from Kev's Contracting for $137,500, Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the courthouse renovation to accommodate the new judge.
And the timeline itself is only on phase 1.
Correct.
So.
The deadline.
We will try to get to phase 2 done if we can get those files, something done with those files. That's the only thing holding us up is those files.
Yeah, because phase one's like the judge's office and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Phase two's the additional courtroom that can be done at whatever point.
And he did, some of the phone calls that I got was questions of, can they work at night? And I don't see an issue with that, but I guess.
Would that be a
has to
security
okay.
matter with the?
The only issue with that would be the access to the files.
Yeah.
Can they lock those down with the,
You probably can lock that room.
Yeah.
oh, well, yeah, that's right. They don't need in there right yet.
And with the delay of Phase 2, how does that come to play if something were to, I mean, this is a locked-in price, right? Okay. So let's make it back and be like it's $10,000 over because it's 4 months down the road and something went up. I mean, that's,
It was thoroughly explained to him.
okay.
Yeah, and as soon as those files are, something's done with those files, then it's just a matter of, okay, and moving forward in phase 2. That's what I understand.
And we told them that if they could just take the files down after they're empty, the files themselves down and get them ready for transport, we'd handle it from that point because we don't know where we're going to put them.
Right.
So,
And I do recall that from the pre-bid meeting. There was a lot of, it's a good explanation on all of those questions.
Yeah, we learned most of those files in that process have already been scanned.
Scan.
yes.
The whole left-hand side. I think
Yeah, the juvenile files haven't, but most of them have been scanned, so
Mm.
that
And
simplifies
if we
it.
get somebody to come in and scan those, maybe we can do those land books at the same time. Just get it.
Just get them done.
Is there a place that down at 911 when they move
I mean, it just
We could probably
depends
store,
because.
we could probably
Yeah,
store. both.
definitely temporarily.
Yeah.
But if we ever want to use that for any sort of a office again,
Anything we could do attic-wise for something like that?
no.
Once they're scanned, I mean,
Not with this.
as long as they're in a secure place.
Not with this.
Come down through.
Yeah. With all the baths.
Oh, yeah, gotcha, I gotcha. I thought maybe wrap and create a little space.
But once you take off the main corridor and shove everything aside, it's all water mains and everything else in one water main.
Nothing else you could, that storage unit.
Well, we got units back here in cages in DRC, you know.
Well, you have that whole section in DRC
Yeah.
you could secure. It's not being used.
My only question also would be is we do need to have a serious conversation about where we want to take these funds from. I mean, we have to do it, absolutely, but just where and how we want to proceed budgetarily.
I would say we take it from what it was cost from the opioid money.
Debbie said she was trying to get some funding for that. Is she hitting brick walls all the way around?
For the scanning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do that, does that preclude you from going to the regional opioid fund and getting reimbursed? No?
Because we didn't include that in what you did we? But I did ask Greg Duckworth, and he said it would be a worthwhile thing for us to apply for that. So maybe we could take it out of there as a temporary loan, hope to get
Try to
paid back.
reimburse.
Well, we looked at that, and you're allowed to they call it restitution, for some of the things, there's a whole list of things you can take that money back and pay yourself back for. I mean, it's like clerk was telling us, the city's set up a rainy day fund, you can basically do that.
I mean, I have no problem with that.
I say we okay phase one for sure, with that's where the funding comes from. And then we also apply to the first foundation.
West Virginia first, I think.
For reimbursement of these.
And I know in the Historic Landmark Committee, there are actually grant funds available. I don't know what that would cost to scan historic type documents. I don't know if that would fall under that, if there's some age to it.
I don't know if it'd be judicial.
Well, the
Well,
land books
being-
definitely would fall under that because they
Well,
go
that's
back to
true.
1818.
Right.
I'm not sure
Just
about
get a
that.
guesstimate on price. I don't know, is it thousands or tens of thousands or?
I don't know that. I mean, how many books are there involved? Some of them, they're multiple years combined. The earlier ones are multiple years combined.
70 or 80.
Yeah, and some of them are in bad shape, just because of age. But it would be a tragedy to lose those.
Especially in mineral situations.
Yeah.
So to clarify your motion, this is a motion to approve this bid, phase one.
I would say we approve it all of it.
Oh, okay.
Take phase one to start immediately, and those funds come from the opioid.
Yes, sir. I understand. Yeah, do you have any problem with that? You see what you're saying? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So there's the amendment to the motion.
Oh, that's right, you made the motion.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I thought.
Yeah, no. As long as he captures it.
Conversation.
Yes. Yeah, yes,
Don't you boys be fighting.
right.
Yeah. Do you
But I wanted to
understand
do
that.
what
Mommy.
Commissioner Roberts' true intentions are? Okay. That being said, the motion is on the floor to approve this bid from Kev's Contracting, Inc. from Clifftop, West Virginia. Total of $137,500. And phase one beginning immediately of $79,000. Coming out of opioid settlement funds. Are these the committed or non-committed? I would say committed.
Committed.
So either
Committed
one.
side of those, 50% of those funds. That being said, any further discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, motion does carry.
The additional courtroom, is it gonna be where the courtroom is now?
No, it will be, what is that? How's the best way to describe it?
It's a file room off the circuit clerk's office.
It's part of the old jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fairly-
one larger room.
It's a room about twice the size of this room.
Yes.
It's just been used for file storage.
And that being said, we will take a quick recess before our next appointment. And it is 10:02 a.m. And we have not received any other bids, so what we'll say is that the one bid received on the renovation of courthouse facilities for additional circuit court judge and staff will stand. I appreciate that Thrasher being here with us this morning, and glad to see that going underway. Anything else on that before we go to the next agenda item?
Well, just glad we were able to work through all the hurdles and get that on track. And definitely a shout out to Commissioner Chapman for leading that initiative. Took a very big obstacle and minimized it best it could.
This morning we do have the pleasure of being joined by Sheriff William Nunley and Chief Deputy Johnny Evans concerning a discussion concerning the county auction that we are trying to get done here. We put out one for equipment and all kind of stuff, and actually didn't get an auctioneer. And so just trying to regroup and if anything, maybe if we could figure out something on the cars and start regrouping some of our money invested in these things.
We do have 13 impounded vehicles that we're gonna be getting rid of, and 8 cruisers. That consists of that old van that we have too, and that blue Ford Escape. The rest of them are marked cruisers.
Do we have to like unmark those? I really don't
How
know.
you sell them.
Probably depends how we sell them.
If they go to another agency, they would do it, right? Restripe them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know that you mentioned that, you're having trouble finding an auction here. In the past, I've sold stuff in Gov Deals. And honestly, it brings more money than local auctions. But
Really?
They handle everything. I mean, they do take a percentage. They do everything.
That'd be awesome.
Then they cut you a check once
They pick them up, transport them, do everything.
that's
Or
up to
whoever
the
the buyer is,
individual,
yeah.
yeah, because the way it works where it's online bidding, I mean, Gov Deals is huge if you get on there and look. But there's departments that get on there and bid on stuff that individuals can as well. But we've sold stuff on there before, and it's vehicles that you didn't think bring you money, would bring more money. Like old Crown Vics, people was coming from New York to get them things. I mean, that's what they want for parts. I mean, that's an option if you guys want us to do that. I mean, it's just a phone call. We got a little bit of legwork to do.
That's honestly not a bad idea at all.
We gotta take good photos and just
Mhm.
note anything we can physically see wrong with them. And they do the rest of the work, advertising and everything.
You said like a 30-day bidding window or something?
Yeah, they do something like that. They'll set that up when it opens and then the closing. But I mean, even local people can still bid on that.
Because we'll have the assessor vehicles, the old DRC vehicles to add to that, right? The 2 Jeeps from the assessor, the
Park
whatever
truck.
that Pontiac thing they had at the DRC.
Little red
fair.
car.
Yes.
The park
And
truck.
then the van,
I think the DRC got one of those.
little SUV, little Jeeps.
Not a Jeep, but it's a Dodge, like Durango.
Oh, from the assessor.
I think they're using it. Is that, did anybody know that?
I think they.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't know if we ever transferred
They
it.
put it
I
in the
think
shop
I
and
did
it's
see
a
it
bunch of
right
money.
down there, but I don't know
If that was
where
it.
it came from.
Was it
Yeah,
black?
It was orange. It was dark
It was
gray.
probably orange, yeah.
Yeah. And also the landfill has a bunch of stuff they'd like to put, so, and they were talking about using Gov Deals. So maybe we can just put a big Nicholas County auction together on
Yeah, I'm sure they would. I still have the contact information for the guy that's for West Virginia, but I would say they would put it all together. I wouldn't see why. It's all county assets, so they should be able to.
Yeah, quick and easy. That'd be
Then
awesome.
like if you could get like a number of pictures, description, whatever that you need, then we can go to the park, airport, and everybody can just collect it, and then here you go, versus you all running all over.
there. And there's inside that fence, did you count the camper and there's like an old Tahoe in there?
Let's see.
I think that it almost came.
And on the last
Yes.
Tuesday, I talked to Patty really about titles,
Oh, yeah.
and I said, you think we don't have titles?
I think everything that we have titles for. I know all the impound vehicles we have titles for on the 13. There's one cruiser, that van. I don't think Mary could find a title for it, but Patty may know where it's at. So,
Well, it's county annual. We'll just have to get it in and get it
Yeah,
replaced.
let's get it.
Yeah.
And the van, is that maroon van, is that the one you're talking about? What about any of those trailers, or those, you guys still use those?
yeah.
The box trailers? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, we do those.
Is there anything down at the other, where the old motor home is? Is there any?
That's been moved
We
today.
don't want. yeah.
Is it really?
The motor home's at state police, but it's supposed to be going, it's gonna get destroyed today.
Hmm.
Is it really good?
On the Collins.
Hmm.
I was going buried up at the mines.
Right.
I told Eric
Mm.
I'm buried.
Blow
But yeah, we don't have anything up there.
Right, we got kicked off. Yet the state's still not even using it too.
No, that's what I
Yeah.
said that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted it bad, yeah, they're not even using it.
Yeah.
So if we talk to the DRC and you talk to the Solid Waste Authority, what would be a time frame that you think would be doable for y'all to get that, so we can get the information in?
I mean, I think you get it done pretty quick. I would say in 30 days or less.
Okay.
I mean, I can't see it, but when I've dealt with them before, they've been really quick.
Yeah. Maybe what we could do is have all the departments, try and stay auto or, stuff like that for this one, just, but get until, like Craig said, the end of the month, Commissioner Chapman said, and then it can all be uploaded however we need to get it done and up on the block.
Now, is that laborious? Like if we had some other stuff, is that gonna put an extra workload on y'all to enter all that, or is that pretty easy?
No, it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get a file of the photos and we just upload it.
Okay, it's not like overburden.
No, it's really
Yeah,
not
because
bad.
John McGinnis is familiar too, so we can.
I mean,
also tell him
yeah,
to
we
do it.
can take a half of that per hour.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
It's
maybe-
basically keeping it just vehicles. Because we were gonna try and do chairs and desks and, but I mean, we won't do that here.
No, what is that gonna leave? Is that gonna clean that out down there with the exception of a couple of cruisers, backups, or?
Yep, that'll leave, well, it'll leave probably a couple cruisers until we figure out everything's gonna happen after January with bailiff and another bailiff and all
Mhm.
that.
Let's
So,
shuffle around.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do they
It'll
need
pretty
any
well
other,
come
before
down.
we do that, is there any, park agencies, anything that need any of these vehicles before we do that?
No, we can have a discussion tomorrow night on the park truck and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get away from a diesel at the park eventually is what we're gonna have to do, but I don't think we have anything gas to really transfer over there right now.
Most of those that we have down there are high mileage. I mean,
Yeah, real high
you wouldn't
mileage.
want anything, and it's just gonna be more maintenance for you to work.
Right. Keep up with.
Good.
But I think that's a good plan.
We need a vote of any sort? I vote we have an auction.
Should we? Well, probably, because I guess we're disposing of assets.
Yeah, you're gonna dispose of assets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you should do a motion.
I'll make a motion that we actually continue on with the auction and we auction off all the equipment that has been identified through the Sheriff's Department, the Assessor's Department, DRC, Park, and Solid Waste Authority,
Should we ask?
And airport if
another
they need.
thing, should we
and
ask?
airport if needed.
Yeah, the one's from the airport, the
Okay.
one we talked about yesterday.
That's true.
Should we ask the fire departments if they wanna have anything, if they have anything, or let them do their own?
I'd say we just keep it the county assets right now. Because honestly, I see the absolute intention of what you're saying, but they have their own charter, everything else is directly tied to us.
Okay. And they own, we don't own their assets.
Right.
Any vehicles will be staged right down here, for now, about the first of the month, with photos or leave them on site.
When you do the gov deals, do you allow an inspection day, like on Tuesday, the 23rd?
There is an inspection day.
It's not a bad idea.
You know, you'll have to use that area at some point for staging when you start the construction down there.
Yes.
For the contractors, so that's gonna be an issue if you don't get it done.
Well, honestly, I mean, of course, we're up, we station down there for Fancy last week, but you have to move down there, there's no problem, someone's gonna run.
Right, that's true.
I don't think that'll be a big issue. There's not gonna be you're not gonna have like a big construction
Well,
crew down there.
before,
You're
they'll
just
be
gonna-
gone before.
You're just gonna need on that side of the building,
Right.
PRC is, so if we have anything over there, anything we're gonna sell, we can move all over on the other side
good, sir.
and get it lined up, and then if we have any extra, we can either park it down there, or we can move some stuff down to the new building. We can open that up.
Or even the ones you're gonna keep, take them to Vance Class for now, so that everything's on.
Yeah.
Whatever you think, good.
Do we have a
Appreciate it.
timeline on the outfits down there at that building?
I think we're waiting on funding. Isn't that part of the grant?
Yes.
That sounds right.
For Vince out here.
Well, the only reason I asked was we've been trying to keep stuff out of the way, because we wasn't sure if it's gonna do it or not, but if it's not gonna happen, real soon, we can probably move some things around to get it.
We can open that up, just let me know whenever we need to open it up and open it up. Like, park.
And I'm assuming all the gravel piled up is ours to just spread out.
As far as I know, I don't know anything about that, but I would assume
Gravel.
gravel.
Down there?
This is where you talking about right here, Dave?
There's a pile of it there.
Oh, yeah.
Just, it's kind of surrounded by cars. You can't really see it.
We could use it.
That being said, Commissioner Roberts' motion is still on the floor. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against, the motion does carry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Gentlemen, for coming in.
Let us know.
We'll be in touch.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
See you guys.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Appreciate it. Make it nice and slick.
That's a good idea.
What's the name of that online?
govdeals.com. Now at the request of Commissioner Roberts, we have a request regarding a letter of support for CityNet BEAD application for broadband coverage for remaining addresses considered unserved, or underserved in Nicholas County, West Virginia.
Did Patty get that typed up, do we know? Because there was 3 letters of support examples and we went with option 1. Today was just to sign those and make that official since we're partnering up with them. No,
If you don't mind.
probably not. Anyways, long and short, so we've partnered up with CityNet to come in as our broadband carrier for our, gosh, I don't remember all the Connect that we're looking at, which is going to be a $25 million grant, $25 million, $12.5 million grant, $12.5 million loan, and they're also looking to apply for some BEAD money, BEAD grants, and they asked for a letter of support. Since we're working with them, they're going to be the provider in the area on the growth aspect of Nicholas County with regards to broadband. So they sent a couple of examples, and we had picked out letter 1.
So,
You said there's 2 letters in there.
Oh, yeah.
well, this is 4H. I've got it right here.
Hey, awesome. We're ahead of the game.
We're ahead of the game. And this does appear to be the letter 1 example. So this letter does read, "To whom it may concern, I am writing on behalf of the Nicholas County Commission to express our strong support for CityNet's application to the West Virginia Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. As County Commission President, I am keenly aware of the critical need for expanded broadband infrastructure to ensure that all residents and businesses in our county have access to reliable, high-speed internet. CityNet, a West Virginia-based ISP, internet service provider, has demonstrated a commendable commitment to enhancing internet services across West Virginia. Their plans to leverage the West Virginia BEAD program to extend broadband access to underserved or unserved and rural areas are timely and essential for our county's continued growth and prosperity. Reliable high-speed internet is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity for various aspects of modern life, including education, health care, and it has descriptions of these, economic development, and quality of life. Nicholas County is fully committed to supporting initiatives that promote digital equity and economic development. We believe that CityNet's participation in the West Virginia BEAD program will have a transformative impact on our community by bridging the digital divide and providing essential infrastructure for the future. We strongly support CityNet's application and urge the West Virginia Department of Economic Development to approve their participation in the West Virginia BEAD program. If you require any further information or assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you for your attention on this all-important matter. Sincerely, Garrett E. Colbert. So that is the support letter on behalf of CityNet before the commission here today.
So just need a motion.
Yes.
Make a motion that we move forward with that support letter.
Okay. The motion is on the floor. Is there any further discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Motion does carry. Thank you, Commissioner Roberts, for staying on top of that. minute early, but I think Ms. Lawson can handle it. We now have Cassandra Lawson, the Senior Project Specialist at Region 4 Planning and Development Council. And we're here on a couple of projects on Hinkle Mountain, beginning with Hinkle Mountain Broadband Expansion Project Resolution Number 21.
If we could start with the budget amendment?
Oh my gosh, you're breaking my heart. Hinkle Mountain
I'm so
Broadband Expansion Project, number 17, Budget Amendment number 4.
And may I ask, so we asked that number 4 be on the agenda, but we also have a 5 and a tentative 6, if you are able to consider those today. So, I know it's probably been about a month ago, you guys approved a budget amendment to replace some old funds in that project with a newer allocation that the Development Office has received. And so what they have sent to us is a budget amendment that follows that grant amendment and does just that. But what I'm unsure of, and I haven't been able to talk to the gentleman at the Development Office who's like the project manager in that department, is do we need to move those 2019 funds back like into the appropriate line items? And then also, in addition to that, we need to request a budget amendment in the amount of around $17,445.84. So you received your invoice from the Department of Highways for the inspection fees that they're going to charge, and it's $16,800, which was a little bit more than we anticipated it to be. And then you have also paid $645.84 to Mon Power for pole attachment services. And so to process those 2 invoices, we have to move some money out of construction and into permitting to have enough money in the permitting line item to be able to pay those invoices. And so.
Now that won't create a shortfall, right? We're just shifting from line to line within the entire budget.
It doesn't create a shortfall. It's all within the amounts that you have been awarded. It does take money out of construction though, but the hope is that we're gonna have more money than needed in construction, because the original project also included construction in Little Laurel. After award, we determined that that area is actually served by broadband.
Right.
So that whole component came out. So the last cost estimate that we had for construction was far less than we actually had in construction. So that's our hope, is that there won't be any issues there. And so this is what the Development Office has prepared. This is amendment number 4. And you'll see it's decreasing all of these line items without actually putting them back in the budget. And it reads, decrease fiscal year 2017 budget by such and such amount. Fiscal year 2019 CDBG funds will be added back into the project. So they're taking it out and then saying they'll put it back in. This is the award for them to put the money back into the budget.
Now, at one point, there was going to be a little extra money. Is this the project, and then the engineering firm asked for it and we said no?
Yes.
So you have a little bit of extra money there.
That is our hope. That is our hope. We won't know until we actually go out to bid. And so, I just don't know how they want to see it. So I've honestly prepared a budget amendment in like 4 different ways.
So when's it going to bid?
We have to be able to pay this DOH inspection fee. It was much more than I anticipated.
How much?
$16,800.
Wow.
I suppose they'll only bill the hours they incur though for the inspection. If it doesn't take that long, I imagine they would maybe owe you a reimbursement. I'm not 100% sure. But before we pay, they used to give you the permit and then you could pay the inspection fees like, just before you got to construction. Now they make you pay this before they'll actually give you your permit. So we have to get this knocked out before we can get the permit from them, which is the last piece we need to go to bid.
You said that's 17,445.84.
Yeah. You had a little tiny bit in permits, so we're actually moving $15,879.40 out of construction into permits. So this budget amendment,
And these are the only permits, like, once you put it to bid, they're not gonna hit the contractors up for more. This should cover everything.
this should cover everything for DOH. But as we've seen in other projects, they've come back and said, hey, you know, you have to do this and that. I don't think we should have this issue though, because the majority of construction is hanging fiber on poles. So I can't see them coming back and saying we have to gravel anything.
Right,
Or
yeah.
anything like this. So I think this should cover it, I would hope.
One point of order there, that's amendment number 5, we don't have it on the agenda, so I don't believe we can address it today.
Okay. Okay, that said, if we can have you just approve their number 4, we'll have to hold this resolution because we have to have these ensuing amendments approved before we can have this resolution approved. And then hopefully what will happen is I will be able to talk to the program manager at the development office, and instead of coming back to you with 4 different redactions of budget amendments, I'll come back with you with 1 or 2. And then we'll be much more confident in how they want to see it.
Gotcha.
So we have amendment 4 here, but then also, what did you say this one here is, an award letter or something?
Yeah, it's just where they're awarding the funds from the newer money.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is to accompany that budget amendment.
Let me see these again.
And I know this is terribly convoluted. So again, what the budget amendment shows is that they've taken that $140,000 out of the project. And then the following document shows them allocating it back to the project from the 2019 funds.
We have a motion to approve amendment number 4 for the Hinkle Mountain Broadband Expansion Project.
So moved.
Motion's on the floor. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Motion does carry. Copies of those, please, or have those made, and then do we need to talk about resolution number 21?
No, we will have to table it until the next meeting.
Okay.
So that we can include however many additional amendments we need to move those funds to actually be able to pay those invoices. But I hope we can get some clarity on how they would like to see it, so I'm not explaining 4 different
Right.
scenarios to you.
Right.
That'll just be a lot more efficient.
Gotcha. Appreciate it. And he's asked when it's going to go out to bid. I was reading and not paying attention at that point. When are they expecting that?
We'll first have to get this payment to the Department of Highways process. They won't give us their permit now. They've kind of changed their protocol. They won't give you the permit until you've actually paid their inspection fees. So once we receive the permit, that's really about the only thing we need to request authorization of it.
So probably 60 days.
I hope.
Okay.
I hope. So this funding agency is a little bit slow in their processing. Once we submit it, it may be 45 days before we receive the funding. Get that remitted to DOH. I don't know how long it will take them to turn around the permit.
I got you.
But hope, that's not out of the realm of possibility
Right.
at this point.
Understood.
And that's all I've got.
Okay.
You guys have anything for me? Any questions?
Oh, man. Appreciate you.
What else we working on?
All kinds of stuff. Pick a town.
Did we get that money for what we went down before that board?
Birch River.
Birch River, that extension?
Yes.
Horseshoe.
We got that.
Yep, that's underway. The PSD's actually, Mr. Tucker's office is legal counsel for that project. They provided them the easements, and they're all actually getting those easements signed right now.
Attorney's on top of that.
Yep.
All over it.
All over.
We'll trust but verify.
And start date on the new water treatment plant in Cratonsville.
So,
Or maybe start year.
Craigville received all of the clearances they were required to get environmentally. And we were actually getting ready to, like, publish the finding of no significant impact that's required. And then, I don't know exactly how it transpired, but Fish and Wildlife came back and said they needed information. So they're working through that now, and
And it's the same thing with Richwood Water Main, right? The
Yes.
main water intake. Thought so.
yes.
Fairly, pretty close to the exact same thing.
Every
Yes.
in the state right now, regardless of what it is.
Yeah. So once they receive like another clearance from Fish and Wildlife, then they're pretty much ready to go to bid. We'll have to issue that environmental, that finding of no significant impact. And that's got like a comment period and that sort of thing, but that's really all they lack.
And do you think that's going to be a hurdle, or is that just a procedural step that needs to take place?
It's just a procedural
Okay.
step that's a timely step.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, that Birch River project's, I mean, it's moving right along, so they get those easements and, I mean, probably within a couple months, they'll request authorization to bid, I would think. One thing I will say though, the state received some ARPA funds and they made an allocation to the Water Development Authority to distribute those funds for water sewer projects. The Water Development Authority has said projects have to be under construction contract by December 31st in order to keep those ARPA allocations, because they want to make sure they can spend them by 2026. They don't want to lose any of that money. So there are a ton of projects going to bid across the state right now, so it's actually a terrible time to put a project out to bid, because contractors are not hungry. They can pick and choose and name their price. So we'll be monitoring that, and there may actually be like benefit in delaying, you know, putting projects out to bid if that whirlwind is still going on. So just kind of a note on that.
Let that plate thin out a little bit.
Yes, yes, yep. Appreciate all you guys do.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Thank
Good to see
you. See ya.
Okay, good morning. We're here joined this morning by Don Odell and Jamie Robinson, right? Okay. Regarding the Richwood Area Chamber of Commerce. What are they writing again? Are you from the Chamber of Commerce or just
I'm
the pool?
on the chamber.
Okay,
board,
so
I'm
from
just
the
yeah.
Chamber of Commerce concerning the pool lining at the city park there in Richwood with a grant request match.
I think that's changed, hasn't it? Yeah, it's changed. We're actually writing a grant for the reconstruction of the basketball court at the pool. So
Okay.
Mary James changed that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not requesting that right now. We're just actually here to basically say thank you for the help that you guys have put into the Richwood City Park and the Richwood City Pool. Listed there is just kind of some totals of what the pool has accomplished this year, which is, you know, we had a large number of sponsorships, we had a large number of people attend the pool, we had private events. We wanted to thank you for helping with the construction last year to get us to this point, which was tremendous. We had, I'm sure you've heard, we had a very, very, very successful summer at the pool. We worked hard, but we wouldn't have been here to that point without the construction. We also wanted to give you an update on the community center. The new roof is being put on, and it should be done soon. And the new flooring will start this month as well. So,
Great.
Just really wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done in our area. We are working towards getting the basketball court done, which will be our next goal.
Gotcha.
So,
Just going to resurface.
no, it will need to be tore up and redone completely. We do have a couple estimates on that, but we're really in just the early stages.
Gotcha.
Dawn is with Mon Forest Towns, and she's here to represent our park and recreation as well. So, you have anything you want to say?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned the roofing project that's underway. The flooring project in the community center should be complete by
Mhm.
November. new basketball hoops were installed inside the gymnasium in the community center. And as Jamie said, we're here to say thank you. She ran the pool this year and did a stellar job. Craig, you gave a private donation. It was
Greg did too.
Greg, exactly.
Yeah.
The number of donors.
Yeah, we had 63 day sponsorships, with 18 evening sponsorships. We held 22 private events. We had a movie night. We had a dip and sip. We had other night swims. We had bands there. We just, at the end of the summer, our pool actually turned a profit, and I think it's probably
That's awesome.
the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time in several years.
Right.
But because the pool was ran so hard, it did kind of take a beating. But that's another day, another project. We'll get to that when we get to it, right? One thing at a time. But we had a huge success. Our biggest day in attendance was 250 people.
Well,
We probably met our max that day, but we literally opened the pool and closed daily, daylight to dark. The pool was utilized. The parks will be utilized next as much as possible.
The night swims.
The night swims, yeah. We had night swims till midnight. It was just a huge turnout. We had people from Watoga State Park come over because they don't currently have a pool. Pocahontas County don't have a pool at all. People from all over the county and surrounding counties came. But the construction was a huge help that you all helped with.
So as Jamie mentioned, we don't have the matching funds and we really need to completely redo the pool, resurface the pool. But right now we're looking at patching to live along for a few more years and do what we can to mitigate any further damage. Got a filter coming.
We have a new filter system that's being installed this either late fall or early spring. So that will help tremendously, but because we had so many people in attendance at the pool, we do need a patchwork. So originally we were going to write a grant to get the pool resurfaced, but we realized it was a large project that we just couldn't come up with the funds for. So for now, we're just looking at patchwork to hold us over for a few years.
So we're working on bids for the patchwork and the old ice skating rink,
which is the basketball court.
Turning
Yeah.
that into 2 basketball courts. And so that's the project that we'll work on next
Yeah.
with the park.
Do you know how many total days you were open this year?
We were only closed 9. We opened to the public on May 30th, closed August 13th.
You said how many days? 9 you weren't open?
We weren't open 9
9, okay.
due to weather. And then Cherry River Festival, we had a filter issue
Yep.
at one point that we had to wait on help for. But besides that, we were open.
So the reason I was asking, it doesn't seem like there was very many days that weren't sponsored. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
just
we,
maybe probably less than 10.
No, I think it was less than 5.
Yeah, I definitely knew less than 10.
Yeah.
But
Jamie did a wonderful job and I just thought you needed to see her face.
Absolutely.
And we needed to say thank you.
That's great for the kids.
Absolutely.
Oh,
We, even though admission's not expensive, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that couldn't afford to come to the pool if it wasn't for the free days.
So I know one day I was up there last year, it's the day we sponsored, and 46 people there, and it's the day before it's 4.
Yeah.
So that much of a difference, and I think that's good.
Yeah, this is all the donations that came into the pool. I took over the pool early May, maybe, late April. Every donation that came in to the pool started late May.
After that, gotcha.
So it was, and it wasn't that I necessarily did a lot of work, it was just that people seen that it was community involved, that it was needed, and we got donations from people from Texas and Pennsylvania that were like, we've never been there, but we've seen that on social media, and we'd like to help where we can.
Awesome.
We had donations for new pool chairs, new umbrella stands, supplies, pool toys. The daycare attended 2 or 3 days a week from Richwood. We had large families that attended. Like I said, we had a movie night. We had night swims till midnight.
You can see on there the number of people. The day that we had the bounce houses, that we had 250 people, was with Kingdom Clinic and the Nicholas Intervention Coalition. They sponsored that as well. We had bounce houses, popcorn, cotton candy, everything was free that day. Albert Church attended. So our goal for next year is to, given that we have a wonderful weather again, we'll do the same. So those are our goals. Y'all have any questions?
Regarding the pool, we should know, I would like to know, the baby pool, it's still not functioning, and we're taking a look at, as opposed to, Jamie had mentioned, a couple other people, Sharon Glasscock mentioned either getting the baby pool up and running or a splash pad. Spoke with Mayor Sam in Marlinton, and he gave me the quotes, and they did the work in-house, and that was 5 years ago. So we're just not ready or prepared or think that we can get the funding necessary to get the baby pool running or a splash pad. But maybe in the near future, we can take a look at fundraising or doing
Sponsors.
something to cover the existing baby pool with a pavilion or a building that we can use for shade and party.
Yeah, private event. Have you been to the pool? You know, there's no shade whatsoever.
Right.
So we wouldn't do away with the current baby pool, but cover it
Right.
and utilize that space or that area.
To hold private events, you know, you get people that want to host or have birthday parties during the heat of the day, but because the pool's open to the public, I could say, hey, we have a pavilion over here you can rent privately.
Right.
The pool's open to the public. So that's a goal for this coming season.
What's up, is a sponsorship for a day still 300?
It is still 300. 300 covers my payroll for the day. So anything made that day will be brought in from the concession stand.
So a full season of 76 days is what I counted up would run about $22,800. Just have it open every day for free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our goal, is to ultimately have the whole summer free. And then by the end of the school year, that's what I'm gonna work on during the winter months, is get sponsorships for the next season.
Right.
So that I can let the county know, let public schools know, you know, at daycares, hey, this whole summer is gonna be free, attend the pool. And then hopefully we have another successful year.
Absolutely.
It's really, Richwood just has a wonderful community. Everybody surrounding it was involved. It was a lot of volunteer work. It was a lot of hours put in. I mean, I personally spent daylight to dark there.
Right.
My kids worked concession stand. We had people scrubbing the pool. We had people scrubbing tiles and concrete and cleaning and making donations. And
This is an unpaid position.
Gotcha.
Volunteer. 100%.
it was a lot of work, but we'll do it again.
Very much appreciated and very much impactful.
Yeah, it really was.
Almost
In other
5,200.
news, let me quickly let you know about the pool, the patching, the ice rink into two basketball courts. Hopefully we can get Jay Hewitt back and do a tournament. Raise some money.
Yeah.
Rails to Trails, we've done some cleanup. We don't have very much in the way of funds. We started with 500, got a few donations, rented a piece of equipment, and under the direction of Paul Brewer, our new Rails to Trails director, he got out there on the trail and got some volunteers to help out. We've got a little bit of work done from Fenwick to Holcomb, and that's all we could do all they could do in that amount of time, but put in a few culverts behind Sam's Diner. Really, really badly damaged by water, and put in some culverts, and they're working on culvert. The city's helping behind USAVE, the old USAVE, putting in another one there. But we're in really dire need of a sidearm mower, the use of or donation of or obtaining.
Have you guys tried to work with the DOH on that?
I live on the Rails of Trails, and the DOH won't help but call Greenland. Like, when I had a culvert issue, which was causing flooding on my property, it didn't seem like they would help.
Just with our sidearm mower. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's something you could get, maybe
I've
they would donate a
spoken
day or
with-
so.
I've spoken with Charlie Reel, that was before he retired, and he wants to help out. He's got some family issues to deal with, but if you know of, if you have any connection and any help, we did. Mayor Johnson spoke to Mayor Schaefer, thinking that maybe they had one that we could borrow, and just the use of it, especially during fall.
Yep.
Like once in the spring, and then once in the fall, clean it up. But we've got that tractor and the brush hog, and thank you, that's working great. But
And I believe from Oakham to the mouth of Cranberry, there's only one bad spot through there. And maybe we can see if we get somebody to sponsor that culvert and drainage. It's right behind the state road garage. There's kind of, I call it the two mountains. You go through a little section where it's dug out and it stays moist and wet there the entire time. That's, I believe, all the way down through there. Last time I was through, and that was pretty recent, there was only one area. I mean, there's a couple of mud holes through there, but
Yeah.
that's a fairly consistent, probably twice the length of this room, that it stays muddy the entire time. I think one culvert and some drainage would work. There's a lot of potential there.
there is. We really need to work on from the depot building up to Fenwick now. And then, I mean, I just really want to see that taken care of first. And from Holcomb, you're right, from Holcomb on, it's not that bad. We're in pretty good shape. But I'm the Montforest Town rep for Richwood. Fell into that position, but through Montforest Towns, we've got a small grant, mini grant for video through Wild Hair Media. They're coming to town to do a video of Richwood, and that will help with the digital asset library for Montforest Towns. And we got another mini grant from the Thriving Communities program, and they're going to help with planning and collaboration with Cowan. Cowan also received that Thriving Communities grants, so we're going to try to do what we can, help out Cowan, Mayor Jerry, and get the trail linked and work toward that. We haven't heard on the Ambler grant yet for the Rails to Trails, but number one focus would be that sidearm mower, so we can keep it clean and make it something that we're really proud of, and purchase of that first mile.
So is the Tri-Rivers Rail Trail Alliance, is that a nonprofit?
Yes.
Because I forget what they call it now. It was out of Fayette County. There was a trail alliance down there, and they had, I think, somewhere around $1 million. Part of that was, I think, $500,000 to rebuild a trestle over near Russell Road, and they had some feasibility studies and all this stuff they were paying into. But I think there's some monies out there, and it seems like it's kind of cyclic. And I'm definitely not trying to underscore anybody's efforts, but it's kind of cyclic. I said 5 or 6 years ago with Bill Wells out of Fayette County, and we did a feasibility study from Fayette County all the way into Webster Springs and all the way down to Clay and ultimately into Charleston. So, but then, once again, then we start these studies again, folks come in and start surveying again, and we start this, and it's just a cyclic aspect of things. And we had talked about the entrance into Cowan. I think there's the DNR agent over there, Matt Schaefer, I think, has a lot of that tied up. And I don't know that he actually has the right of way, but there were some issues with that. But it'd be nice just to focus on that 17 miles that we have out of Richwood into Eney Creek, and if we can just get that cleaned up and open. So I had a couple people message me and contact me over the past few years that we advertise that, and they ride through, and like you said, it's a muddy mess through some of those areas.
We did Monday, another small grant we got Monday, that's 2 days ago, for a website for the Rails to Trails. So that should happen pretty quickly in the next couple of weeks. It's only $3,500, but the other thing that I've learned is that once you get one grant, you're recognized by other entities as something viable or important to take a look at. And we're just seeing it snowball. And hopefully something really good comes along. There was a volunteer group. We have a lot of volunteers in town and donors and sponsors. So I would
include all of those people, but we received through Brownfields, a local leadership award last week, and I think that says a lot for the people of Richwood. But thank you. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you
very,
very much.
very good update.
On to the next project, right?
Projects, yeah, projects.
Jamie, definitely appreciate everything you done to pull. That's
Oh,
awesome.
you're welcome.
Those are outstanding numbers, especially for somebody who
She's
volunteers.
amazing. She needs it.
Non-compensated,
We need
right.
an Emmy
Right.
for her.
There's a lot of work, but, you know, my goal at the end of the beginning of the year was to make sure kids say,
Yes.
remember the summer we spent at the
Yes.
pool? And being there every day, you've seen the same kids and new families and
Right.
new people moving to town, and they had a blast.
Right. Kept them out of trouble. Active.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Absolutely.
We knew if they were there, they weren't getting into trouble because
Right.
it wasn't tolerated.
You know who I should call it? Department of Highway.
We'll try to see if we can work something in
That'd be
the background, let
great.
you know. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you all.
Mhm.
If y'all have any questions or anything, just feel free to reach out to us.
Do you work with Tom Clark any?
I've met Tom. Thank you for your sponsor letter of support for that Amler grant, and I actually met Tom through that.
Tom helps me with the DOH stuff, so Tom would be a good guy to get.
Well, I just happen to have his number,
I
thanks to
think I
Corey
met Tom
Chambers.
at the festival. I think he was there one day. But
I'll call him right now.
I think he actually made a donation to the pool too. There were so many donors for the pool.
He's a good guy, a lot of help.
There's a gallery reception this Thursday evening at Bloomfield Gallery. Paula Clendenin is an artist out of Charleston. So another Appalachian artist will be.
Yeah, and given that the floor is done in the community center and the roof and all that is taken care of, the Chamber of Commerce will host their yearly banquet there. We're hoping that everything will be ready by then, and that will be in October. If everything goes smoothly. We'd like for you all to attend.
Definitely shoot us an email or, something along that
Yeah,
lines.
we'll send out
get
an
on the calendar.
invitation. The chamber
Absolutely.
will send out an invitation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Good guest speaker, did you know that?
Yeah. Don't hear me talk.
See you all, good to see you.
You too.
That brings us now to commissioners' comments, if you gentlemen would like to begin.
The only thing I've got to say is the Potato Festival, what a great job the city did putting that on. The Fall Festival, what a great job Gary and his crew put that on. So it drew in a lot of people, both of them. Good work.
I just wanted to highlight the outstanding work that our OES Director John McGinnis did with trying to stay ahead of any potential water shortages or outages. Now, I'll use the word shortages in the county. And our goal, as always, is to make sure that if anything like that arises, that we're far enough ahead of it that there's very minimal impact to the residents of Nicholas County. And I think he did an outstanding job. It's hard to look at a lake in my mind to determine the number of days of water supply that's left. But based on the information at hand, I think he did a very fantastic job on making sure that any resources that were needed were identified, lined up, and staged up and ready to roll if we needed to pull that trigger. That's all I got.
Speaking of, the commission did host a emergency meeting last Thursday at 8:16 p.m. And that was to enact the fire ban. As of this morning, the commission has released that fire ban. Depending on the weather, we may put one back into effect, but in the meantime, just to simplify everything as needed. We do not need it at this time. Very thankful for the rain we have received here today, and hopefully it'll put us somewhat back on track. The state of emergency that I did sign Monday, I did not put a time frame on, just as Governor Justice had not done his own. I believe at this point, Friday, I intend to make a decision to continue or would go ahead and cancel. But I believe at this time it probably will stay through at least next week. So just a point of information on that. We have received differing opinions from Richwood officials. However, according to Fire Chief Tommy Coleman, I do believe we are still in a state of emergency in the fact that we have very limited water in that area still. However, we were rejected from Governor Justice on a request of assistance because he did receive word from the city directly that they did not need assistance, but Bridgewood's Fire Chief, Bridgewood's Water Director, the Homeland Security Director, and myself all believe we need to stay at more of a heightened status of awareness and preparedness, just to make sure things don't turn sour. And so that is my intention to leave the state of emergency in effect at this time. And echo Commissioner Chapman's comments. The Craigville Fall Festival went very well, and appreciate DRC that did a lot of good cleanup work there, and Commissioner Roberts, who spent a lot of time there with them and throughout the event itself.
So the burn ban is no longer in effect?
Yes, sir, as of this morning.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Was there talk about an executive session?
Yeah, do you want to do that? I do have some questions other than that, we just want to.
This is about personnel. I would prefer it be an executive session, if
Yes,
that's okay with you.
will there be any action? And that was for the benefit of the press.
Yeah, no, just more information.
So that being said, do we have a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code?
Before you enter into executive session, was a motion presented to enter into agreement with the low bid contractor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I missed that and I wanted to confirm that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we did approve it as presented, with a little bit of additional information.
But you weren't late, we were early.
Great.
Right.
You were
It
early,
works out in the wash.
You were early, we were earlier.
Do we have a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4 concerning personnel matters of the commission with no intended decision to be made? Is that correct?
So moved.
And it is 10:56 a.m. The motion is on the floor. Who all would like to, we'd like to retain the commission and legal counsel and
Hey,
clerk?
Bobby, yep.
Okay, if everyone other than the county commission, county clerk. Okay, we're going to go back on the record here, and it is 11:33 a.m. For the record, notices were made during the time of executive session. And do we have a motion to exit executive session?
So moved.
Motion is on the floor to exit executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, again on personnel matters. And again, no decisions were made. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. We do not have anything else. Do we have a motion to adjourn this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission? Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024, and it is now 11:34 a.m.
Motion.
Motion's on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry, and we do stand adjourned.